evening. How are you all doing? How are you feeling? I am dancing to a jam here, and trust me, I wish. Can you guys hear what I'm listening to? Yes, this is PAMI RAMZ with Nisaidia, and you know what? I can listen to this over and over, sleep through it, wake up, dust my house with it. You know, it's something that gives me some kind of vibe. Welcome to Beyond Limits. I've just told you my guest of honor on this particular episode, and this is inspirational. This is enlightening. This is everything about life that you want to listen to. You want to know where she comes from, right? So you walk with me this journey and see what limits she's come across, how she's overcome them, and how she has become the PAMI RAMZ that you are listening to and celebrating in this country today. Well, we're just getting started. My name is Anki Doris Sambat. How about we do this? PAMI RAMZ is like, yo, who is this dramatic one today? Welcome to Beyond Limits.
Oh, thank you.
I am so glad you're here, but before that, let me just put away this phone before the brand sues me. I have a whole team, Beyond Limits. One day I'll show you the whole team, but if you can capture this one for me. Have you captured her? PAMI RAMZ, this is how natural this show is. This is how the hangout here is. We are at Golden Tulip. This place here, it's called a bar, but we're not sipping on any wine yet. This is the sports bar, all right, at the rooftop. How have you felt the serene so far? Yeah,
it's beautiful and calm. I love the place.
You do?
It's very welcoming.
So most of our guests should come here.
Yes, of course.
Awesome. So bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ah, ça va?
Très bien, merci. Et toi?
Ah, ça va bien. Ça va bien. So comment tu t'appelles? Is that correct?
Comment je m'appelle? Tu connais mon nom?
Ah, okay. Merci. So a lot of people hear your music, your Swahili is perfect, and they kind of assume you're Kenyan.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think it's wrong for people to assume I'm Kenyan because I live in Kenya anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, but originally I'm coming from the DRC, that is Congo, precisely Kinshasa. But I've been here in Kenya for 21 years, which makes me a Kenyan as well.
You are a Kenyan. Welcome to Kenya, Mambo.
Poa sana.
Allah. And I know a lot of people are thinking, okay, fine, all about the music. We want to know PAMI as a person. 21 years in Kenya. But how did you come here?
How did I come here? I came with my family.
Yeah.
They work in the embassy, the Congolese embassy. So I've been here schooling. I'm married here with children. So my life has been here for the longest time now. Yeah.
So a lot of people are thinking, okay, so did you have one of these cool childhoods? Because the work in the embassy, so guys are thinking, well, you must have had an okay, childhood. Was it as smooth?
I can't complain about it, but life is never smooth. It's never a bed of roses. I can be struggling with something else which is comfortable for you, or something that you're struggling with is okay for me. So I can't really say that I had a very smooth childhood. Yeah. But nothing to complain about. Yeah, for the simple fact that I knew Christ since I was a child. And I knew I had some principle to follow as a person myself. So that helped me and saved me from a lot of trouble. I know. A lot of people are thinking, okay, so life can be challenging, but you don't have anything to complain about. Some people complain at the slightest thing that hits them in life. It's a decision that you make. Okay. Life is all about making the decision. Even the Bible, Jesus was telling us, before you, I'm placing two choices. Yeah. Choose life. That's his advice. But he did not oblige us to choose life. So life is all about you choosing something. Okay. If you want to remain in sorrow, that is you. Because life will never always smile at you. Okay. But you need to find something good out of it. Find something good out of it. Yes, otherwise you'll be crying all the time. I know, right? Yeah. Man, and here we say earth is hard. So you'd be crying about every single thing. Exactly. So how about you make that choice? Now, education. Yeah. Because we don't get much of that about you in the bio. So did you study music? What did you study? I'm sitting with an engineer, a DJ. No, I'm just saying. Wow, I've done quite a lot. Before I did just mass communication in general. And then right now, actually, I'm doing public relations. I'm at Daystar University. Oh, yes. Okay. Wow. Wow. So we are talking with somebody very mweshimiwa. Really? Not my relation. Okay. I should stop. She actually was like, stop.
All right, so your children, motherhood, balancing it with music and, you know, being all pretty in Kenya, there's a lot of, you know, questions around that. How are you able to stand firm? And also in Christ.
Yeah, it's not easy, especially with children. You know, I started music actually long ago.
Okay.
That was in 2010 when I started officially. But then with marriage and the children coming, it was not easy because I had followed up two children, you know. So I had to take care of them. It was not easy. But then by the grace of God, I was positioned back to continue and pursue with music. I can say it is not easy because going to schooling, taking care of the kids, having your family around and taking care of yourself as a person is not easy, but I will say by the grace of God I am going through it. And I want to encourage somebody who's listening to us there. You know, maybe probably something happened and then you have a child and you feel this is the end of the world. No, it isn't. If other people can still manage it with 2 or 3 children, it means even you can just do that. So I'm encouraging that woman there who feels maybe desperate about something or thinks life is over. No, you can still kick from where you are and God's grace is sufficient.
I know, because it's a really tough time with the pandemic. Now it even got worse. People got laid off. Maybe they just got children and they got laid off. But your music has continued to, you know, bloom and bloom and bloom. And I was listening to This Idea, there's Nyongoze, and then now we're going to talk about the latest Mwema. Whoa! Wow! Despite everything else, we're always blooming and always moving. What is the inspiration behind your music? Especially, I think every song of yours, I wouldn't say sentimental, but it has a soul attachment to it. I don't know.
I would say God's love has been my greatest inspiration.
Okay.
I always say to myself, if not for God, I don't think I'll be here. And sometimes I sit down and try to imagine the scenario. This was a whole king who ignored his kingship just to come and die for a lonely person like you and I. And even when he came, you and I strapped him naked. Imagine we strapping the King of Kings naked. And we were not even ashamed to look at him as he was naked. Actually, if you have to say it truthfully, that is a curse. But still, he made himself a curse for us. So when I look at that type of love, I say, this is the greatest gift that has been given to humanity. So that pushes me to serve. Even when I feel down, it pushes me to hold on. When I feel stressed or depressed, it still pushes me to hold on because I know his love is above all things. So my music mostly is attached to the love of God. So everything I do there, mostly the #1 thing is the love of God.
And that's beautiful. I want to go a bit sensitive now, and I know a lot of people will be a bit shocked about it, but I consulted with PAMI earlier and she said, yeah, it's okay. If it's part of going beyond limits, then let's do this. So you can see it. We don't see it in your music. And I'm here thinking you're a performing artist. There's a lot of hearing in all the performances. But as we're speaking right now, she has a hearing aid. And you want to ask yourself, why is she having that on? What is her story? You know, why to the point where we have to now communicate with the hearing aid? And how do you inspire somebody else who thinks, well, this could be, you know, the reason why I can't do this particular thing? What is your story behind the hearing aid?
I thank God for that question. Out there, a lot of people are struggling with a lot of things. And that's why I always encourage people, whenever you meet somebody that you don't know, be kind to them, because you just don't know what they're struggling with. Actually, I was just very much okay. Very much okay. In 2020, I became sick suddenly, and that's how my hearing, my sense of hearing were affected. Just like that. Actually, I lost it completely. I couldn't hear anymore. Nothing. And remember, I am an artist. This is what I used to hear and sing. But then I thank God because of the people and the management that I have, because they forced me. That we prayed together, we cried to God for weeks until it was restored. Now, even as it was restored, it wasn't doing well at all. But then I was even forced, you are going to the studio just the way you are. I was actually crying. I was telling God, how am I going to the studio like this? I can't even hear well. But they told me, this is just a point of contact for you to receive that encounter, so you will go. This is how the song Majira came. I don't know if you've listened to it. And the song Majira came just to encourage somebody there. You may be going through something. That is the truth. You may be going through a challenge that maybe you cannot even share with anybody because you feel this is a shame. It's shameful. But I want to encourage you that the God who heals is still available. The God who provides is still available. He will never leave nor forsake you, because that's what he promised he will do. So I want you to hold on there. this is my advice to you. The God who healed me, the God who restored my hearing, will still do it for you today, but only if you believe. So if God did that to me, I'm not even complaining about having this, because I can perfectly sing, I can listen to you. Actually, I'm using it when I am somewhere where it can be a little bit noisy, and I know we don't have to shout too much, then I will use it. But in a normal day, I don't use it, but I'm still grateful to God that I can still hear with it, because there's somebody out there who lost a sense of hearing. Until now, they are not even recovering from it. So be grateful for every little thing that God has given you. Regardless of the circumstances, remember He still remains the God of time and circumstances. And at the right time, He will come through for you, just if you believe.
And now, being in the music industry, and then COVID hits, and you have a family, and you have children, this is what puts food on the table. How was this on you? How did it hit you? How did you not give up? Because now we're seeing Mwema like boom, we're like, oh, she didn't give up.
It was indeed stressful. Because, you know, as an artist, you go here and there, there's a gig here, there's a training here, there's maybe somewhere you have to speak, you know. Then suddenly everything is quiet, and you still have schooling at the same time. So it has been stressful. But just as I said, we don't have to stress about things. Because whenever things happen, it's because God has purposed them to be there. And He said He will not ever tempt us beyond what we can carry, beyond our capacity. So when something happens, God knows we'll go through it, and He will get us through it. So I was just trusting God for everything. As I always say, when you see me here, I am a living testimony. If you're looking for a testimony around, just look for me. I am a living testimony, because if not for God, I'm not even supposed to be here today. I'm supposed to be laying cold somewhere, either in a mortuary or maybe in a cemetery, if not here, back home.
You know, you guys, I wanted us to go to the Brain Buster segment, but let's rewind. Back to the real testimony. Which is this testimony we haven't heard?
Oh my God, let me just give the smallest testimony that I can afford to give every day that I live. The fact that I am breathing now. We don't really see that. I was asking Sally the other time on Sunday when I was with her, I was asking her, how much is oxygen in the hospital? Do you know how much people spend per hour to get an oxygen? But you wake up, you're healthy, you can breathe in and out, you go out, you do your things and come back. If you take that for granted, you're the most ungrateful human being I've ever seen. So the first thing when I wake up, I say, God, thank you for my life. I look at my children when they're waking up, I say, God, thank you that I'm not waking up with a sound of tears or cries. They're breathing. I'm okay. Even if we don't have food, even if we don't have clothes, the fact that they're breathing is the greatest testimony. So if you're there, you're still looking for something to thank God for, I don't know what to tell you, but I will encourage you to just thank God for the fact that you're breathing right now.
You know, through this interview, you have emphasized something. You've emphasized on something. There is time for everything. Even in parenting, time for love, time for discipline. So everyone can just feel there's a change. There's always time. So that's the same way there is time where you grieve. There's a time where you're actually strong. I think that's scriptural.
Yes, it is. And that's actually one of the songs that I have there, Majira. And I will encourage people to just rush to YouTube and listen to Majira. I know for sure it will encourage you, it will restore you, and God will do something through it.
And as we talk of Majira now, Mwema is taking over our living rooms, our cars, our offices. And I'm thinking, wow, hasn't God been good to you? How did you bath Mwema?
Mwema is one of the greatest testimony ever, and this should apply for everybody out there. So long as you're alive, Mwema should be actually attuned to sing. Why am I saying this? Because, you know, with the pandemic, with everything around, I'm sure everyone everywhere there is either crying, mourning, you know, they are sad, depressed, stressed. But then I was even, as I told you, I was sharing with my friend. I was telling them, you know, so long as there's life, there's hope. You can be having lung failure, you can be having heart attack, you can be having everything. But so long as your heart is beating, there's still hope. Your family will still hold on. They're breathing, he's still breathing. So let's not focus on the negativity of life, because actually they are bringing us down, they're killing us. Some of the sicknesses that we are having today is because you're having that stress. Some of the depressions you're having right now, you're dying actually because of that small stress. So I just want you to forget about everything for a moment. Forget about stress, Forget about depression, forget about the tears, forget about your losses, because all of us are experiencing that kind of loss.
Yeah.
But can you focus on that something good that the Lord has done to you today? And just focus on that and say, God, indeed, umekuwa mwema kwangu. So mwema comes just to throw away and push aside all the negativity and focus on that goodness, that one goodness that you find in your life today.
Yeah.
Mungu ni mwema.
You know what? I want us to take a short break. But when you come back, promise them that you will at least sing Mwema.
Sure, I will sing Mwema and any other song that you want me to sing, because that's what I was born to do.
So we can do this show even for an hour. You
know, for 2 hours.
This show is 24 minutes, but we can do. In fact, if the producer wants to sack me today, no problem. We are going for 2 hours. Let's wait and see if this is gonna go for 2 hours for sure for Shizo. This is Beyond Limits. We take a short break. We'll be right back with the Brain Buster. Don't go away.